Hi, this is Pranav Gaur Thakurta from EduTV. EduTV is known for connecting preschools with schools, schools with universities, and universities with corporates. Today, we are trying to bridge the gap between universities and the corporates. Today, we have a very relevant topic. The topic is impact of COVID-19 on global economy at the rate stock markets. Is financial trading market a great career option for youngsters? We have distinguished panelists with us. We have Professor Kamlesh Mishra, noted Indian economist. He had set up many universities in India like GD Goenka, Oro, Rishabh, and also headed Ansal's University. Currently, he is the Vice Chancellor of Rishabh University, Sonipat, Haryana. Sudhanshu Malhotra, a big name in stocks and shares, also the CEO of Webcom Technology. Dr. Leena Kaushal, she did her PhD in economics and Masters in Business Economics from Devi Ahilya University, Indore. Postgraduate certificate in academic practice from Center for Enhancement of Learning and Teaching, CELT, Lancaster University, UK. Diploma in Entrepreneurship and Business Management, Entrepreneurship Development from Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad. Awards. She has received status of Associate of United Kingdom Higher Education Academy. Then we have Dr. Rita Pandey with us. She has done her PhD in economics from IIT Kanpur. Rita Pandey is a professor at the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy, New Delhi. Her primary area of research is environment economics. She has been a member of the Technological and Finance Standing Committee to implement the Montreal Protocol appointed by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India. Her recent publication is, in 2019, Biodiversity Finance, Identification and Analysis of Key Building Blocks of Biodiversity Finance Plan in India. Then we have got Madam Mithu Pandey. She has been heading many institutions, the placement departments as placement heads. Currently, she is the Deputy Director of SRM University, the famous SRM University. And we have Mr. Jayanta Mukherjee, the Director, External Affairs, Jagran Lake City, University, Bhopal. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
I would like to request Professor Kamlesh Mishra to start.
In the stock market, it depends, money it's a good time to invest. At the end of the day, investing in the stock market is a big gamble for everyone. It depends on which category or which group you belong to. If you have been a random investor, then maybe you should keep away. If you have been into heavy investing and you are able to keep track of what's happening, yes. There is no doubt that the stock market has fallen to a degree where even some of your choice stocks are at a level where you could actually buy. If you ask me, did you buy? I would say yes. I have made some recent investments into the stock market because I feel that once the economic system begins to bounce back, I'm confident about the stocks that I have made an investment in, and some of them are private companies. Many of them are even government companies that are invested. So it all depends on your own appetite. Investing in the stock market, it depends on your own risk-taking ability. There will be a lot of people who, despite the fact you guarantee them, they will say, no, this is not for me. I'm going to put it in fixed deposit. So, I personally believe that the economy will take some time to bounce back. It's not going to be tomorrow. That it's going to turn back before a year. Because for the demand to start going back to the level that it used to be before, it will take some time. Remember that in 6 to 8 weeks that we are all indoors, our buying habits also have changed. all of a sudden we have also realized that there are a lot of things that we used to buy that we never wanted. Right? Now, for us to come back to that impulsive buying system where you buy because you just go into the market and you see that there is something on the sale, you buy it and you don't know what to do with it, you come back and you store it. Right? It will take time for that to come back. So it's going to be a gradual shift back to the kind of growth that we were looking at. I'm for the next 1 year. My prediction is that if we grow at the rate of about 2%, we'll be doing very, very well compared to others.
Oh, wonderful. Miss Leena, as you have interacted abroad also, you have studied in UK. So what is your view on the subject?
Well, I quite much agree with what Professor Kamlesh Mishra has said. Markets are reacting much to lockdown and economic fallout as to the pandemic itself. So what we look at is definitely it's not going to bounce up immediately. It will take certain time. And as he said rightly, that we are expected to grow even at 1.9 or 2% compared to the Western world that have already dipped into the recession. And if we don't look at the forecast for this particular year, the next particular is quite promising. And definitely the scenarios are like, as soon as some medicines come up or when the curve actually again starts improving for us, things will revive. And it's across the sector, across the world. And we know that so much of this money has actually flown out of the country, almost $15 billion, So corrections were evident, but with looking at the kind of growth that is expected, even in these tough times for India, India has much, much better chance in the emerging countries.
Wonderful. We have also now Sudhanshu Malhotra with us, who is the CEO of Webcom and a big name in the shares and stock industry in Delhi. Welcome, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, hi, Pranav.
How are you?
Great initiative.
The panel was Sudhanshu. It was Sudhanshu Malhotra's idea only. Yeah, Dr. Bhanushali.
As my understanding goes, I was just reading the article by head IMF, country head, and something that has been made very clear in the article was that compared to all other countries, India is expected to perform better. For the current year, India's GDP is expected to be around 1.9. With that 1.9, we are expected to be among the fastest growing economy of the world. Okay, so if I try to compare with the 2008, again, India's GDP went down to 3%, but still we were among the fastest growing economy. And next year, again, projected numbers are around 7.5%, which seems good. So I'm forecasting that it is going to be a very short-term scenario. India is going to perform better. And second, the kind of scenario that we witnessed, there are few things that are happening. One is going to be a big change in the way we do the banking, because these are not the epidemics as such, but is going to be a crisis of confidence. Having the confidence of the people in the banking system, confidence of the customers in the banking systems, in the stock market, financial market, and that the confidence is supposed to be resumed, and for which government has a major role to play. Because if you look at the Great Depression year of 29, the crisis entirely started with the stock market and the collapse of the banking system. We are expecting some kind of banking crisis also, and if the banking crisis comes in, the recovery will be a bit difficult. But in absence of that, India can perform better, primarily because of major reason that India and China, we are an internal consumption-driven economy. We are our own consumption market. We are not that way dependent on the global market. So which this internal consumption-driven structure is going to help us in a big way, provided we follow proper monetary and fiscal policies, which government has started doing it up to an extent. So if we are doing proper, is about your interest rate. As far as stock market is concerned, I'm expecting, because we are expecting interest rate to reduce. Okay, when interest rate goes down, we are expecting people to withdraw money from banking systems, and they will be looking for an alternative option. And equity market, stock market is going to be one of the options. because real return in the banking system, if I put money in my savings account or FD account, your real returns are bound to be very low. In some situations, going to be negative. So in that scenario, people will be looking at alternative options, and one of that alternative option comes up in the form of the stock market. So that way, stock market could have been one of the best options, provided we develop that kind of confidence in the market. So this is my takeaway, sir. Over to you, sir.
Wonderful. This is Sudhanshu Malhotra.
Hi everyone, I'm Sudhanshu Malhotra, and my main focus or my company's main focus is on, of course, the equity market and commodity market, stocks and other stuff. So we basically follow the technicals, but then in this kind of a crisis scenario, the technicals goes for a toss.
During this period, the technicals for stock market goes for a toss because the fundamental effect, the impact of the fundamental is such huge that technicals are not able to follow that much. But then, of course, we all know that the crisis is not small. The crisis is going to damage not the Indian market, but the whole world's economy to a certain extent. But ultimately, I think, they will find out the vaccination. They will come out with some vaccination or antiviral stuff. They will come out with some kind of a medicine very soon. I'm pretty sure about it. And we should actually look at this, in particularly focusing on the stock market. We should actually look it as an opportunity. It is rather good opportunity to enter the market. Of course, not in the one big chunk. But let us say if you're going to invest, if you want to invest some X amount, you should invest 25% of the X today or 35% of the X today. And then, you should invest it in parts and pieces. But this is certainly the good time to invest, as the other speakers were also focusing that the Indian industry will not get hampered to much of the extent. And Indian economy will bounce back, and I'm very, very sure about it. The Indian economy will bounce back very soon. And even if you look at the Nifty chart, the Nifty stock chart, the Nifty chart, Nifty 50 chart, if you look at that, technically, I think it has bottomed out. The low 7,600 something, which was the low a few days back, around, I think, a couple of weeks back. So I think the markets have bottomed out. Until and unless the markets again approaches below 8,500, the Nifty approaches below 8,500, the markets have bottomed out. This is what I believe in. And good opportunity to enter, Pranav. I think
Great.
Everybody should look at this as an opportunity.
Yes. I think Professor Mishra also said, I think this is the buying time. Has it any impact on the recruitment of freshers?
In terms of the financial trading markets, yes, I think a lot of youngsters, or not just in India, but outside the world, outside the India, all over the world, a lot of youngsters are coming into it, looking at the various kind of job opportunities existing in it, and self-employment as well. So there are a lot of financial institutions, there are a lot of hedge funds who are actually looking at the proprietary traders, who are actually looking at the fund managers. And there are a lot of brokers who are looking at dealers. So there's tons of job opportunities existing into it. And the technicals, especially if you go through some technical training program, the candidate can actually look at this as a solid career option in times to come.
Pranav, can I just come in there?
Yeah, please.
See, I feel that, it's very, I'm not going to talk only about the financial sector, because the financial sector may do better than the other sectors, but I feel overall the economy is not going to do as we are predicting. And we have to be job losses. There will be massive job losses. And to assume that there would be no job losses is not realistic. The kind of jobs that are created when your economy is growing at 5%, 6%, 8%, you don't have the same kind of jobs when your economy is growing at 1% and 1.5%. It's not possible. And we have to be very, very realistic about it. We will have job losses this year. And it is going to have an impact on freshers. If at all industry is going to start recruiting, first they will take those people that they hired. And then the chance for the freshers are going to come. You know, if a person has been working with me for 3 years, 4 years, I have to lay him off because of bad business condition. Whenever there is a revival, it is my 100% going to first get back to those people and see and give them a chance before I even think about freshers. So for universities and colleges, please brace it. Okay, it's coming, and it's going to hit us like a, you know, we better be very realistic about this. That you know, and assuming that there will be no job losses is not realistic at all. It is. Okay. In terms of the financial markets, in terms of jobs that are related to hardcore finance, probably there could be a better prospect than other sectors, right? Because no matter what happens, like we economists say that whether it's a good economy or a bad economy, we are always in demand, right? So I think that's a realistic picture that I wanted to bring. Maybe Rita will have a better idea because they come from an institution which makes more policies about economic growth and everything.
Okay, I would also like to make a point there.
Yeah, Leena.
Yeah, so what Professor Mishra is saying to be realistic, I mean, he's actually talking about the nerve, you know, because the prediction says that the mightier firms will definitely exist, but the smaller ones are going to merge or they'll be dissolved whatsoever. So when it comes to investing, one has to be very cautious about, I mean, what's the time horizon? What's the kind of investments you are investing? What are your goals? So I specifically don't think that this is the time for any new one or the youngster to jump into investments. Yeah, it seems like we have bottomed up. I mean, we have reached that level. We have discounted much of it because most of the companies have revealed that their quarter results are definitely going to be negative. But we can just wait and watch for another 2 weeks, maybe for things more too, because it's so fluid that every day new forecasts, new reports, new things are being discounted to give us the different picture. And as rightly said about the employment opportunities, yes, majority of the big firms have said that they are not going to have any retrenchments or the layoffs related to COVID-19. But this is for this year, looking at the situation. Next year, we never know how it shapes up. The companies might restructure and there might be layoffs or certain things like that. So immediately forward, I really don't see a great market for the youngsters or the job creation. But another 2 years, things might settle down and things will again get back into shape.
Jayanto?
Yes, I can hear you.
Jayanto, I think no corporate company can assure job for a long time because jobs are very perishable things. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's your views?
See, after hearing the panelists here, I think so. We have to understand that there are certain things which we look at short term and certain which we look at long term. From purely a job market perspective, all of us know, and we had a separate discussion on this last time also, that it's the most difficult time to even predict that will a fresher get a job, because the first people who are not, even if companies are coming and saying we're not going to lay off, I haven't heard many companies saying that we are still going to continue our hiring process. There's a difference between both. Retaining your existing employees and bringing in new employees are two different things. LinkedIn, if you see our timelines, we have had people saying that someone lost their job. Can you recommend him to someone else? We have been told that after 2 months, we have to leave our job. Can I get some reference? Amongst all those posts, we see one company coming and saying that we are trying to hire. Can someone help us? We are trying to get interns. Can someone help? It is a dire situation. On our campus also, we've had people have said, we are not trying to say that we will not adhere to the letter of interest given to your students. But only what we are saying is for the next 4 to 6 months, we may not be able to take them immediately. So it is a bad situation for the fresh market, the fresh graduate market. The impact on them is higher. They have to compromise on 4-5 things. They have to compromise on the choices of companies they wanted to work. Correct. They have to compromise on the starting salary. They have to compromise on working conditions. Plus, they have to compromise on probably even the sector of starting. Even if a marketing kid had sort of taken up a marketing branding strategy role, he will now be pushed into sales because that's where first
Correct.
they would want more people to come in. So the impact is going to be spread out. As it goes to the economy impact, we have been reading reports overall. It is going to have a significant impact. We've already seen the corrections, and I don't see any reason, unlike the 2008 situation where we were sort of in a better situation that time as an economy to push back the recession which was hitting the world. This time is going to be a little different, and because it's going to be a little different, the trickling down on the employment opportunity is going to be huge. Times of India laid off their Sunday Times editorial as well as non-editorial staff overnight. Journalists who were working for 24 years were laid off. So the impact is going to be there, and we have to make students understand how to cope up with this. And as universities, as we said last time, we have to be really hand-holding them all on a regular basis. Maybe not always being too positive with them because we have to be realistic with them. We have to tell them that it is going to be a very big situation. I can't promise you the 15-20 lakh rupee salary spaces packages which we were giving you, but we'll have to stay with them for a long term because it's not as rosy as probably some of us are saying it is.
Pranav, can we get Rita and Mitu? We haven't heard them yet. We can take
I think
it from there.
Sudhanshu wanted to add something before Jayanto.
Yeah, I was trying to add on to what Leena said, that the things will not bounce back in V-shape. Of course, I don't look at the V-shape recovery in the trading markets. The financial markets though would come back and will bounce back very strongly in times to come, but it might take some time. It might consolidate during this period for next 3 months, quarter or 2 quarters, or maybe a year even. But then ultimately the world is not going to die. And the kind of opportunities which we should envisage for investment is the stocks which are like 30 to 40% or maybe 50% down from their high prices. Not the stocks which have actually come down only 10% because it doesn't make sense then to make use of the crisis. And not even look at those stocks which have been decreased by around 70 to 80%. Let's not look at those stocks which have only decreased by 10-15% or higher than 70%. Let's look at the stock specific investments, and with the midterm to long term view, as Leena said. So the perspective midterm to long term, and the stocks which have corrected by 40 to 50% only. I think that would be good way to invest, and in parts and pieces. Yeah, we might see another dip also. I mean, personally, I'm not too convinced that the Nifty is going to go northward right from here itself. As the other panelists are saying, the job opportunities in the other sectors doesn't exist, are not that rosy. But I am sure the world is not going to die. Of course, the world is not dying. And if the world exists, the economy will grow. The economy will come back to its original shape very soon. If not soon, then in due course of time. But let's look at it as an opportunity when it comes to investment, and even in jobs. Though my knowledge about job opportunities is not very, very deep on it, but then I was reading an article a couple of days back itself that Google is recruiting some 75,000 new people because they have more advertisements to manage, they have more things to manage. They're recruiting new 75,000 guys. I don't know where, in India or all over the world. But
I think, Sudhanshu, IT companies are hiring worldwide at this point. Even now, they're worldwide because everything is being driven by that. Sometimes you begin to think that Modi started this digital campaign 3 years back. Did he have to bring all this to make it happen so fast?
Right.
So, I think IT companies will continue to hire, and that's one sector that's going to be very, very robust, right? But I realistically feel that it is not possible for us to see a dip in the growth rates and a rise in the employment levels. It's not possible. They go hand in hand. So we must expect, But I agree, Sudhanshu, that in some sectors there will be growth. It's like looking at an average price, right? It doesn't mean that some sectors will grow, but on an average, majority of the sectors will see a major decline.
Your views on the recruitment of freshers in the finance industry?
Okay, so recently I had a word with few HRs of different financial sectors in ICICI Securities and some Standard Chartered and many more. So they said because of the slowdown in economy, so they may not recruit freshers as of now, but trading is the good option for them. Like students can look at trading options. There are different sites like Zerodha and Upstocks and many more, wherein we have sent those information to our students. These are the digital platform wherein they can learn and they can invest. So this is the time wherein today, if you will see the Nifty, it is 9,200, and earlier it was 12,000 something. So yes, because now students can look at study about the stocks, and they can invest more and more money. Not money, at least they can learn how to just what is blue chip share, and they can think, and the career will be good in their in financial sector. And everything is already discussed by others. That is what it is from my side.
Wonderful. Dr. Kishore, you are an economist also, and you are an educationist also. So what are your views for both the industry?
Sir, as an economist, I'm trying to connect a real sector with the financial sector. On one side, we got a consumer, okay, and people who got the savings. And other side, we need a people who invest that money. And between this savings and investment, there is a financial sector which works as a bridge. Now the critical scenario is consumer have limited income, so savings are bound to go down because I don't have money. So that is affecting the consumption. Other side is part of the saving is there. We need a financial sector to mobilize those savings for the investors. And before this even COVID, we had a situation where our banking sector, which was the primary mobilizer for the savings, was facing an issue of NPA. And with this COVID coming into picture, banking sector is expected to have big amount of NPAs. Now the scenario is, how do RBI manages this? How do we going to manage this? And if financial sector is not managed properly, little saving that we have will not be converted into investment. If you cannot convert investment in savings, you can't even expect for a placement, a GDP to grow, placement to grow, because these are all terms. Now, as far as employment part is concerned, I'm not sure about how employment will move in terms of financial sectors, because in kind of this kind of crisis, whether you talk of Great Depression, you talk of 2000 American crisis, the financial sector was the first and worst affected sectors. So financial sector will not come up with that kind of jobs. Rather, new kind of sector will emerge. Because if you talk about the current scenario, health sector is going to be booming like anything. Okay, so health sector will create a job. We got new opportunities like online learnings and platforms. So there are going to be a different kind of jobs. Even after COVID, suppose the lockdown is closed, what companies will be trying? Companies will be trying to reach out to the customer directly without customer coming to them. So it's going to be an online trading market, online the job market. So those kind of employment opportunities are going to emerge. The concern for an academic institute is, how do we make sure that students are prepared for those kind of opportunities? So for that, this lockdown period is a right platform to train the student to develop a skill set which is required for those kind of job profile. So for that, what we are doing at our end is, we have started creating those kind of videos to be forwarded to a student. First of all, you need a counseling. Suppose somebody was going for a marketing or finance as a specialization, my role is to convince them well in advance that you may not get those kind of profile or those kind of placement or packages. Be ready for something which less than what you are expecting. Rather, online trading, online platforms, online financial services are going to emerge like anything. Learn those kind of business model. If you can learn, there's going to be opportunities. For a marketing people, digital marketing is emerging like anything, is going to be booming now. So there are opportunities. Only thing is, the kind of job that we are expecting are going to be a slightly different. So you need to prepare for that. Rather, for an academic institute, the biggest challenge that we are facing as an academician or as an institute is the future upcoming student group, because we had good number of students who have inquired, but now they are not sure about the admissions, because they are not sure about the kind of packages they are expecting. So the institute which were charging high fees, say 10 lakh 12 lakh rupees of fees, students were ready to pay the fees because he was expecting that after end of the course I'll have enough jobs and I'll be getting those kind of packages to have ROI at my end. But now they are not sure about that. So rather, the institute will have those kind of admission challenges. So how do you convert those challenges into an opportunity is going to be again a big issue. So institutes are supposed to look from that angle, and admission next year depend primarily on what kind of placement you have for this year. If you can place the student in the right kind of platform, you'll have edge over others. That's what my takeaway. Thank you, sir.
Great. I would like to ask this question to everyone. COVID or no COVID, what I have been seeing, I was also heading a placement department of one university. So majority of the students wanted job in either in project finance or in as a merchant banker or maybe in analytics. And none of the I think majority of the jobs are not available. And majority of the finance students have gone to some other directions. So do you think, I will start with Mishra sir, Sudhanshu sir, even Rita ma'am, or Mithu, even Jayanta or Leena, we should, as advised by Dr. Kishore also, should we change the way of teaching, or should we change the prospect, or do we need to change the course so students are placeable?
Let me just give you my view on this. I think we need a change in the mindset. Forget about the course and everything else. It is too much that the students want too fast. And that's being very, very unrealistic. Every student who completes his MBA program, he feels now he is ready to make strategies for the whole company. And he has everything done. And that's the problem of change mindset. One has to be open to start a career. The problem is that a student is looking at as if that's the end of his career. It's a start of his career. Once you move into a job, you begin to find a path for yourself and find what your interests are and what you would like, right? I think it's the speed at which they want to go that's a problem. In terms of whether we should change our education system or the curriculum is always on a constantly changing. That's not an issue. I think what my personal view has always been that if you can build good character among students and positive thinkers, everything will fall in place. The problem is that we don't focus on those areas. That's not an area that we talk about. I spend a lot of time with students, sitting with them on a one-to-one basis, right? Where I can spend about 2 hours. I can look into the eyes of a student and say there is something wrong today.
Yeah.
Right? And I can sit with that student for 1 hour. In 1 hour, that student will tell me the history of his whole family last 50 years. Now, you can inspire students that way. And every institution is talking about motivating our students. Let's motivate. Don't try to motivate them. You cannot do it. Just inspire them. If you can inspire them, they will get motivated. And the problem in our education system is, we need to be more focused on how we can change the thinking of these students. I have had students who were so grounded that they would take a job for 6,000 and end up being a managing director of the company after 15 years. It is possible. The problem is that they are flying too much. They are not keeping their foot on the ground.
I very well remember the 2000 .com bubble. Majority of us had the joining letters in our hand, but we were denied joining, So it was not that the career just went like anything for us and we never bounced back. Within a year, and let's 2-3 years, majority of us are doing fantastically great, you know. So as somebody said, it's not end of the world, but yes, what rightly Dr. Sudhanshu said, that we need to focus a bit on just changing little bit of strategy. How can we give little more to our students? Because digitalization, robotics, AI, healthcare, these are the new things of the future, you know. So within the curriculum, maybe introduce this little more, maybe not just immediately that they'll bounce with a very good job, but year and a half to come, they'll be perfect fit for the kind of people that the recruiters are looking forward to.
Yeah, and someone else wanted to add.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying, as Mr. Kamlesh said, that this is going to be industry specific growth. Certain industries like IT would grow. I mean, this is my belief. I may be wrong, but what I believe is that IT, of course, will grow. Pharmaceutical should grow. And I think the real estate is something which is going to bounce back in next couple of years. I mean, I think this is the right time to enter into real estate stocks and real estate as well, you know. I think real estate for last 10, 12 years has been suffering the max. And this is the time when real estate should come bounce back again, you know. After this COVID, I'm sure a lot of people would be looking forward to consolidation, you know, people who are living on rent. And I'm not looking at the high ticket size growth in real estate, but the small and the mid segment ticket size should grow in the real estate. And as Lena said, the industry specific, I mean, in terms of employment, of course, you know, I think super specialization is also required. Like people are required in data sciences. People are actually required in biotechnology. So, you know, very vertical specific growth and recruitment, I think, or super specialization is required by the candidate for a good job. This is what I believe in.
I little contradict, you know. So the student who's doing the finance or doing the HR need not worry about that they don't have a future. It's just that you upgrade yourself with the latest technology that will also be now utilized in their sector per se. So there's nothing to worry that now this sector will not do, everything will do well, because this pandemic has actually impacted across all the sectors. It's not 2008-9 where it was the real estate, or 2000 like it was a dot-com bubble. Every sector is impacted. So this is the new trend, you know, the way we are discussing today, the online education, the internet, the Zoom. I mean, the digitalization is the key in every damn sector. That's something that needs to be upgraded. Once the economy bounces, every sector will bounce. Definitely with some rhythm, you know. So maybe some sectors fall a little back in that rhythm. Some will just bump up right in the shoot as soon the curve starts shaking. So the students need not worry about it. Just have patience, and the time that you have, please use it judiciously to just invest in the stuff that will be most needed going forward.
I think wonderful. Yeah, Dr. Kishore.
Yeah, just to add to what Sir said and what I was telling, one thing which is common across the sector in days to come is this working from home, because this pandemic has forced the company to allow employee to work from home, and the companies might have realized that though they are working at home, the cost of production or the company's cost is going down. You are getting equal productivity with the help of technology. So it may happen that post this lockdown scenario, a company will always prefer people who can work from home, because then by that way you are reducing your own costs. Okay, so employees are supposed to be ready, or maybe to be trained how best you can do work from home. It's not about technology, but that kind of mindset where I know that I have to be as productive as working from home as productive I was in a company. So those kind of mindsets are supposed to be required for the days to come. Thank you.
Sure, I think, Kishore, there's one aspect that we need to look at when we talk about working from home. All sectors of the economy are not conducive to working from home.
Yes.
You know, the one sector which is very, very good for working at home is the IT sector. Okay, because in the IT sector, all work is based on the outcome. This needs to be done, and it needs to be done by Friday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
They are able to identify and see who's working well and how much contribution each has made. It is possible to do that. Right? I have my sons who work for Snapchat. They are sitting in France and they're working in the United States. And I said, how come, are you on a vacation? They said, yes, we are on vacation. I said, what kind of vacation is this? It's a work from home vacation, right? So it's possible. But if we have to do this for a auto manufacturing, how are we going to do work from home?
Sir, in every sector, there are some part of the entire process which
Yes.
can be done at home. It's not about entire
Yeah, I agree.
Even if
Some-
I've got a manufacturing company, I have got my marketing team who can work from home.
Yeah, some
Part of the process, yes, part of
Yes.
process can be done, not the entire process.
Yeah. Also, at the end of the day, we will be coming to the same place where we say that, do we need a corporate office?
Yes, yes,
No.
definitely.
Why do marketing people have to stay there? Whenever you want to have a meeting, the lobby of a hotel is very good place.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where the CCD comes in.
The company Pidilite Fevicol, I think from last 20 years, their marketing people or sales people don't come to the office. From home, they straight away go to the market.
Yeah.
I think thank you so much, Dr. Kishore Bhanushali from Karnavati University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Mr. Sudhanshu Malhotra, CEO of Webcom Technology and a broker, share broker. Mr. Kamlesh Mishra, Vice Chancellor, Rishihood University, Sonipat, Haryana. Madam Mithu Pandey, Placement Head of SRM University. Mr. Joyanto Mukherjee, Director External Linkages at Jagran Lake University, Bhopal. And Madam Leena Kaushal, thank you. I think you must have done MBA not pretty
I'm
long.
from MD. I am from MD.
Relate to the subject pretty well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sudhanshu Malhotra, for organizing this. And thank you, Kamlesh, sir. You have been always helping us. Thanks whole lot.